NFL Sunday is here. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to all. Today I'm going to go through all three games and talk about my two favorite picks plus two extra leans. I'll recap how Saturday's slate of NFL games did in next week's video as I'm recording this slightly before it, but I do want to mention PrizePicks has a gift for you. For the holidays, they have a free square out, and even if you don't watch the NBA, Nikola Jokic to score 1 point, he's going to get that done on Sunday night, on Christmas night, if you want to sign up for PrizePicks. As always, you can take advantage of the free square, a free leg, and your parlays down, but also if you sign up using our code COS or the link down below in the description, you get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Look, take advantage of it. You deposit 20 bucks, you now got 40 to play with. 50, you got 100. 100, you have 200. Take advantage of it. Sign up using code COS or the link down below. Let's hop into my favorite picks, and we're going to start with Sunday Night Football. Buccaneers versus Cardinals, and I'm going to Mike Evans, and I'm taking his under 60.5 receiving yards, minus 114 on FanDuel. Now, I'd probably play this down a couple more yards. I don't really know where the line will move over the next, 24 plus hours, but either way, I probably played down about 55.5. Now, let's talk about Evans coming off his best week in a hot minute. He went over this line, and now he's got a tough matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. But last week we saw Evans 83 receiving yards in the first half, and then the second half came and the Buccaneers 0 receiving yards as the Buccaneers absolute collapse against the Bengals. And Evans and Brady haven't looked on the same page over the last, 6-7 weeks, and we've seen that in Evans' numbers. Obviously, Evans is a very consistent guy, but still been struggling, and he might get near this line, but I don't think it goes above 60. Now, look, despite Evans going over it last week, the Bucs remain basically with the same number they gave him last week, and the Cardinals defense has been great against outside receivers that just line up on the outside. Slot, they're a little bit iffy against. That's why I think Chris Godwin and the tight ends and even the running backs I think have a decent day out of the backfield. But look at Evans, despite going over last game, still under in 5 of his last 6. The Cardinals have allowed only 11 wide receivers to hit this over in 14 games played. I think Evans' game is very similar to a guy like DK Metcalf. Two guys that have elite size, two guys that are going to go up and make contested catches, but Metcalf struggled versus Arizona this year, 34 and 37 receiving yards versus the Cardinals. I expect Evans to struggle even though Byron Murphy Jr. is out. Byron Murphy Jr., their elite corner, he's been out for like 5-6 weeks now. I think the Buccaneers also 8-point favorites. Could they be throwing it a ton towards the end of this game? I don't necessarily know. Now, last week they were up 14 and you saw what happened, and they choked away that game. But either way, Evans, we know he has an injury history. He's always liable for an injury. While we don't celebrate winning unders based on injuries, that is always a question mark for Evans, especially into Week 16. It feels like every single game he goes into the blue medical tent with either an ankle or a hamstring injury. Either way, don't love Evans on Sunday. I'll take his under 60.5 receiving yards. Go out there and lay an egg for all the people out there. Sorry, Evans. We don't like rooting for unders, but it's Christmas. We're going to have to make some money either way. Now, my second play of this day before we hop into two leans, I'm going to another player prop, and it's Aaron Rodgers, over 247.5 passing yards, minus 114 on FanDuel. Now, if this does go up, which I think a couple books are like 248, 250.5, but I'd probably play it up about 10 more yards, maybe 255.5. And if you're on PrizePicks, the sponsor of the video, not only you get that 100% deposit match, that's pretty sweet, but they also have this number at 240.5, so you can take advantage of that. Now, I got to give the line makers, bravo. You guys did great on this number because, they put this number up here begging people to take the under, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of people posting on Twitter, on YouTube, taking the unders. But why are they begging for the under? Well, Rodgers is under this line in 5 straight games and 9 of his last 10. It's basically begging people to take the under. You look at last week, you saw Rodgers like 220-something yards. They rose his line 20 yards, and why? Because he's taking on the Miami Dolphins, a high over-under at 50. That's the highest in the NFL this weekend. And Rodgers, I think, gets over this line because he has the healthiest group of wide receivers that he's had all year. Dobbs is healthy. Christian Watson healthy. Knock on wood for all these guys. Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, Bob Tonyan, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. All these guys are healthy for what feels like the first time all season long. So he's got his healthy group of wide receivers. While some of them are young, he at least has them all out there for his disposal. And the Dolphins are a great matchup. They allow the 3rd most passing yards per game in the NFL at over 273. Last week, Justin Herbert, 367. The week before that, Josh Allen. Actually, flip-flopped those, but Josh Allen, 304 yards. Look, QBs have had success against the Dolphins defense. They're in Miami. The weather should not be an issue at all like we've seen in all the other games. I mean, there's been crazy weather across the NFL this weekend, but still, I think Green Bay comes in here. They're probably going to have to score some points to keep up with Miami. You don't just set an over-under at 50, despite the Packers having a pretty decent defense and not being able to score a ton of points this year. I think Rodgers, who looked great last week, 73.3% of his completed passes, thrown for 229. I think he gets at least 20 more yards. I'll take his over, 247.5. I know it won't be a popular play at all, but I don't really want to be on the popular plays this late into the season. Give me Aaron Rodgers over 247.5 passing yards, minus 114 on FanDuel. You can play that up 8 to 10 more yards. Now, let's talk about let's move on to a couple leans, because those are only 2 picks for Sunday. I don't really like any of the spreads. They don't really stick out, but I'll at least talk about two spreads or over-unders that I at least had my eye on. And if you want to play them, you can. They're just leans. I won't track them towards my record, win or loss. Start with that Dolphins game. I like the Dolphins to win by 1 to 13 points. That's plus 135. It's a win margin on FanDuel. You can also do like a same game parlay kind of thing on BetMGM or on DraftKings if that's what you want to go with. But I think the Dolphins win this game. They have lost 3 in a row, but all those were on the road where they have struggled as a team. They're back at home. This is a big time game for both these two teams. Dolphins obviously trying to make the playoffs. The Packers trying to come back and make the playoffs as well. They aren't going to win their division, but they can still have a chance at making the playoffs. They need some help though, but they obviously have to win out to get there. But I just think the Dolphins bounce back in this spot. I think they're the better team. They have more firepower on offense. And while I think this should be a high-scoring game, I think the Packers don't have the firepower to keep up with the Dolphins. Tua's been great. The Packers defense hasn't traveled as well on the road. Overall, it should be a close game. I just think the Dolphins to win by 1 to 13 has value in there. The spread's only 3.5, so if it's a field goal, they win. And I don't see the Dolphins blowing them out. So if you do take this, at the very least, you have the Dolphins, and maybe they're up by like 7 going down to the wire. Maybe the Packers can force overtime. You can take maybe the Dolphin or hedge with the Packers money line, get a guaranteed winner there. But then my other lean, I like the Denver Broncos Rams under 36.5. Now, like I said, these are just leans, so do whatever you want with them. It's Christmas. Do whatever you want. But system play, look, the Broncos, I mean, I say system play is kind of a joke, but like the Broncos have been going under in a lot of games this year. You saw last week that we took an under in the Rams game and they went under. They ended up with 36 on the dot. These are two offenses that really don't get me going here, and these are two defenses that are very good. We know the Rams defense is great. The Broncos defense, one of the better secondaries in the league, and the Rams have not had an offense or a really capable run game all year long, and that's how you beat the Broncos. You got to run on them. They haven't been able to have a solid run game consistently, so I don't really know if the Rams are going to score a lot of points. Don't really know if the Broncos are going to score a lot of points, so I'd probably just lean towards the under. This should be two teams that really struggle in the red zone. So those are my 2 favorite picks, riding with Mike Evans, under 60.5 receiving yards, and then Aaron Rodgers over 247.5 passing yards, plus those 2 leans. Do whatever you want with it. My NBA best bets video will be live a little bit later on, and this is just a reminder, PrizePicks free square, go take advantage of it. Nikola Jokic to score 1 point, who'll do that? But also have an NBA prop for Nikola Jokic in the NBA video, which will be live soon. I'll link it right here once it is live, and make sure you take advantage of that. I appreciate you guys so much. We would not be here. We'll do a recap of obviously our full season long, probably, or a full year, probably closer to New Year's Eve. But I appreciate you guys so much for supporting the channel. We just passed 61,000 subscribers. Maybe we'll hit 62. Who knows? But if you have any favorite picks, obviously drop them down below in the comment section. Curious what you guys are playing. It's only 3 games on. I don't want to force a ton of picks because I don't really love any of these 3 games. But it should be a good day. Hopefully Saturday was a good slate for our picks. And of course, the NBA video, again, I said I'll put it right here. Go check it out. 3 picks. Let you know the players. We got James Harden. We got Nikola Jokic. And we got Jordan Poole. You have to go figure out how I'm betting those in the NBA. That PrizePicks free square. Take advantage. Love you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.